In this problem, we're given V0 is 10 at an angle of 30 and asked to find Vs. So we're given the voltage over here in the circuit and asked to work all the way back over to here. So we're basically going to apply Kirchhoff's current law and voltage law and then work our way back through the ideal transformer. So if we start off and say, let's define this current as I1, then I1 is V0 over 10, which is 1 at an angle of 30 degrees. And if we apply KCL here, we also see that that's I1. And now, let's calculate this voltage V1. V1 is 10 plus J4 times I1. So then V1 is 6.66 plus J 8.46. Now we can calculate I2. I2 is V1 over minus J5, which says that I2 is minus 1.692 plus J 1.332. And now let's define a voltage. I'm going to call it V3. And we also need to get this current here, I3, first before we can calculate V3. So if we look at our circuit, then I3 is I1 plus I2, and that gives us that I3 is minus 0.826 plus J 1.832. Now we can calculate V3. V3 is 2 I3 plus V1, so it's equal to the 5 plus J 12.12 volts. Okay. Now we're ready to go through and transform the currents and voltages through the ideal transformer. And if we go in and say, well, let's let this voltage be V4. And if we do that, if we note that V4 is polarized at a dotted terminal and V3 is polarized at an undotted terminal, then we have V4 over 2 is equal to minus V3, or V4 is equal to minus 2V3. And I'm going to define this current as I4. So both currents enter dots. So we wind up with I4 equal to minus 1/2 I3. So those are the relationships for the transformers based on the currents and voltages that I've defined at the transformer. So now V4 is minus 2V3. So that's minus 10 minus J 24.24 volts. And I4 is minus 1/2 I3. So that's 0.413 minus J 0.916 amps. Now, we have that. We can calculate the voltage. I'm going to call it V5. And V5 then is 4I4 plus V4 And that's minus 8.348 minus J 27.9. And now we can calculate a current I5. And I5 is V5 over J5, which is minus 5.58 plus J 1.67. Now, we can apply KCL and calculate a current I'll designate as I6. So I6 is I5 plus I4 minus 5.17 plus J 0.75. And now, finally, by applying KVL around this loop, we can write VS is 2I6 plus V5, and that's 32.34 at an angle of minus 125.3 degrees.